Should old acquaintance be forgot?
And something.
Never brought to mind?
I mean, that sounds good to me.
I've not seen the New Year in since we've had a child.
Oh, yes. We went to bed at 9 o'clock last night. Was it after the darts or in the middle of the darts?
It was in the middle of the darts. We didn't even see Michael Van Gerwen go out.
No, we didn't. No.
But we're not here to talk about darts.
I mean, I could talk about darts.
I
I'm quite
think-
happy talking about darts.
I think in every end of year episode we discuss darts as much as we discuss
It's
our
a
favourite.
fun thing to do. It's also part of our podcast now.
So, our favourite films of the year?
Yes, Mark.
Yes.
Maybe I would have favourite darts performances of the year more than I would have favourite films. It is the elephant in the room, which I'm going to go boom, 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 boom. Here comes the elephant. And it's the fact that I haven't seen many films this year.
Well, it's okay because I'm normally the one who is catching up on TV series, and I very much have this year. Like trying to get so that I couldn't put like Not Going Out as my number 10 or something like that,
Yeah.
or for example, Roots and Fruits.
Roots and Fruits,
Yes.
that great kids TV show that's always on in our living room.
Yes, but no, I've managed to get 10 TV shows, and I think you've managed to get 10 films.
Yes, just.
Great.
You've been laughing at me.
I have.
You have been laughing at me a lot, desperately trying to claw my way to 10 films.
I've also been recommending films that you should watch.
Yes, but then I don't know how to watch them. This is the problem. With a TV show, right, you can go on like ITV Player or, Channel 4, whatever they call them now, Netflix, and you can catch up with, you can get your DVD box set out. But with...
We got loads of DVD
We've
box
got
sets
so many of them.
TV shows out this year, yeah.
Sorry, I went back to 1996 there for a second. But with films, they're like on at the cinema and then I have to wait for them to come on, like we've got Sky Cinema or Netflix.
It's amazing that you're telling me this now because literally everything I've recommended to you has been available on our streaming services. Have you just
Right. No, maybe I just haven't looked, possibly. Like today, I thought, one of the films that I really, really wanted to see this year was The Smashing Machine.
Yes.
And I looked up and actually I saw that you could actually pay for it.
Yeah.
Too many actuallys. But I was like, actually, £3.49 on like Google something or other. So I think things like that pass me by. I don't think to go and rent something.
Oh, well, I mean, at least it's available relatively reasonably. It was at that premium level up as recently as a couple of weeks ago where it was kind of 15 quid. So,
Oh, you know what? That rings a bell. Did you tell me something
Yes.
was like $16.99? Could it possibly be The Smashing Machine?
Oh, so you bed this up, like, right? Okay.
Yeah, I forget. 10 films.
Yeah.
10 to 1. That's how it works.
Orthodox,
Just
yeah.
reminding myself again. We each take a turn, and if there's a film that is on both of our lists, we wait until. Do we? What do we do?
Christ, it's been 6 years and you
Been
finally
6
unprompted remembered the format that we do every year.
But I'm still struggling, Mark. I've stopped in the middle of this explanation.
So when you go to a film that you know I have seen and I haven't mentioned yet, give me a look and I will advise you whether we carry on or we wait until it appears on my list.
Lovely, that's what we'll do.
Yeah.
Again, for the 6th time.
Yeah. Do you want to go first?
I'll go first. Oh, I know what my 10 is without even looking at my list.
Okay.
It's because there's not many films. My number 10 is Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Don't ask me, Mark, what happened in this film. Oh, you're looking at me because you're expecting me to look at you to see if it's on your list.
It's absolutely
I just
not
know
on
it
my
isn't.
list, yes.
It's not on your list. I'm not even going there. But don't even ask me what happened in the film because I don't really remember. All I know is that it had Tremel Tillman from Severance season 2 and season 1. And it had Hannah Waddingham, the great Hannah Waddingham.
Briefly.
There were submarines, there was water, there was Tom Cruise chucking himself out of things without a parachute. I love this series of films. I think I must say that every time a part of one comes out because they love doing like part 1, part 2 and everything, don't they, with them. I really, really love these films. And one of the things that I would really like to do, I mean, when, I don't know, but I would really like to do at some point in my life again, is to go through them from one to the final film. and just see them all as a whole. I still have a real soft spot for Mission Impossible 3, which is the one involving, I think it's in the Vatican, and it's
Philip Seymour
Hoffman
yeah.
and Jonathan Henry VIII. Can't remember his surname. But
Jonathan Rhys-Meyers.
That's him, Jonathan Rhys-Meyers. Like I say, can't really tell you what happened in this film, but I know it was blockbuster filmmaking that I loved.
Yeah, I mean, it's not on my list, as we well know. I think there were parts of it that were laughable, and then we got to the set pieces, and it was Joel on the floor for 20 minutes, and then a bit, laughable.
There's so much claustrophobia in a particular scene towards the second half that I actually sort of went, oh, that real, he's not going to do that, is he? As someone who gets really, really scared of small spaces. And it was just getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And it really got to me that. I thought it was brilliant filmmaking.
Okay.
Your number 10.
My number 10 is Flow. Directed by Gints Zivolodis. I'm sure I've wrecked that. It's a Latvian film. It was their submission for Best Animation last year at the Academy Awards. It is the best silent animated cat story I've seen all year.
Put that on the poster and sell it.
It's a story of a cat that's living in a post-apocalyptic world. There's no humans about, it's just animals. But it's clearly a world that has been sculpted by humans. And then there is a big, flood, and a cat just has to survive by trying to find land and getting through it.
Amazing.
This has got some of the best characters that you've had built all year. The characters are introduced and you see them, and through absolutely no dialogue whatsoever, you understand who these characters are, what they want, and you understand their actions. And it doesn't matter that they're a capybara, for example, or a really funny, cute dog. They're just awesome. If you get a chance to see this, it's beautifully animated. It's one of those animations, it's computer animated. If you see a still, it looks very late 90s. I've got an Amiga and a 3D modeling program. But when you see it move, the movement is beautiful. And just the way the light comes through, it really shines. It's a beautiful film. And it's one of my films of the year.
My number 9, you're going to have to help me out with the title, because I get the first part and then the colon, sort of after the colon, it's lost me. But it's Fantastic Four.
First Steps.
And is that on your list? It's not on your list.
No Marvel on my list.
Okay. Couldn't even tell you it was Marvel.
Yeah.
So that's how my level of knowledge of the films at the moment and everything around film is so poor, which is brilliant for TV and film podcasting, obviously. I wasn't looking forward to going and seeing this. I thought the trailer looked interesting because it was clearly this retro futuristic styling, which is different to what we're used to. But I couldn't really say that Fantastic Four as characters were characters that I was interested in. I liked what they did with it. I liked the points of difference in the film. I did find I have to be honest, I found certain plot lines with one of the characters who's pregnant. I found that quite difficult at times. I've had to put that to one side in order to see where it falls on my list. But it has to go on the list because I remember coming away from it and thinking that was a really good film. It had a clear arc. It had good storylines. It was visually enticing, and I liked what they were doing with it. And I found myself thinking, I'd probably like to spend a bit more time with these characters. And if they turn up in other films, I wonder if they'll do that.
Yes.
I would be happy to see them. I really liked the Sue Storm character being an intelligent a woman of science who could have a child and still fulfill her role. And, I really, really liked the way that they presented Sue Storm. Because in the past, Sue Storm has been sort of the young female actor of the time.
Jessica Alba.
Exactly, yeah. And not to, denigrate them in any way. It's just that that's what they were looking for those characters. Much like and I think they did it with everyone, really, because there's the Johnny Storm as well, which in this iteration is played by the fella from Stranger Things.
Joseph Quinn.
Thank you, darling. You're going to be doing a lot of that tonight. You've done your homework, and I'm like, Mark will know who everyone is. But that, previously played by Chris Evans, obviously there's been lots of people who've done Fantastic Four in good films and bad. Previously played in my brain by Chris Evans, which is like this very jockey, very sort of hello ladies, you know, sort of really quite one-dimensional. But with Joseph Quinn in the role, who's going to be playing a Beatle soon, you know, and a really good actor, I thought it just gave it more three-dimension, and the relationship he had with the big rock man. What's his name?
Dwayne Johnson.
Ben the Rock.
Yes,
him.
Michael Zemeckis.
Yes, that's it. So yeah, at number 9 for me. What's your number 9?
So my number 9 is one of 2 films on here, which I think if you want to check something out in the next few upcoming months, something that would really work for you. It's one of the films that I've seen very, very recently, and it's Black Bag.
Oh, you were watching that downstairs?
Yes.
I could see that on a TV in our house.
Yes, it's currently downloaded to our Sky Q box. So, that's.
Oh, wow. Tell me about Black Bag.
So, it's the latest film by Steven Soderbergh. He's released, I think, 2 films, or maybe even more this year. Didn't
Steven Soderbergh at some point said he was going to retire?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's going well. Yeah.
I remember that fact.
So, this is like a mix between Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy and Line of Duty.
Excellent.
Yeah. Stars Michael Fassbender.
Lovely.
As an intelligence officer who has been told a MacGuffin has been stolen, and he has a week to find out who has stolen it and stop them, because otherwise it risks thousands of civilian lives. There's 5 suspects who are Naomi Harris, Regé-Jean Page, Marissa Abela, Tom Burke, one for you.
Thanks very much.
And Cate Blanchett, who coincidentally is his wife.
What a great cast.
Yes. This is very much a cast piece, and there is 5 people, plus the people who surround them. You know, there's Pierce Brosnan rocks up for a little bit, and people like that.
Oh, great.
Absolutely acting their asses off. It's just set piece after set piece after set piece. It's only about 92, 93 minutes long.
Perfect.
And within the first 10 minutes, you have a dinner scene where all the suspects are around the table and we are trying to understand what's happening here. It would work on a second viewing because there's little things, there's interrogation scenes where you, at the end of it, you realise, oh, okay, so there's only like a couple of questions that were actually important in there, and you understand exactly what they are the second time you watch it.
And now you know who done it, in inverted commas. You can go back and see how they're behaving in those scenes. Yeah, I love that.
As you say, amazing cast. The person who impressed me the most was Marissa Abela, who I didn't know at all.
No, I know her. She played Amy Winehouse.
Yes, and I think she was in Industry.
Okay.
The BBC
the TV show. Yeah.
There are a couple of scenes where she has to go one-on-one with Michael Fassbender, and she absolutely holds her own. She's got such a good character. It's incredibly fast-moving. I've heard reviews which say it's a little bit light for them, but for me, it was just a perfect snack size. When you're trying to get through films at the end of the year as well, perfect snack size portion of just excitement and people just really acting well.
I'm totally going to check that out, which I don't normally say.
No. We'll see if it happens, but yeah. Your number 8.
My number 8 is Jurassic World Rebirth.
It's not on my list.
It's not on your list?
No, I enjoyed it. It's the second best Jurassic Park film for me. Maybe third.
I really struggled with this because I think I ripped it apart in our episode where we covered this film. But as time has gone on, I have felt, not just because I needed a top 10, but as time has gone on, I have felt much warmer towards it, and I'd really like a second viewing.
Yeah.
You know, when you can replay scenes in your head and you're like, oh, I really like that. And, oh, yeah, I kind of back in that world again. And there are major problems with it, major problems with some of the casting, major problems for me with the plot and the storyline. But at its heart, it's a good old dinosaur flick. And there are certain scenes, for example, there's a big scene involving water and a Tyrannosaurus Rex that was so, like, one of those scenes where your heart's racing and you're so into it and you're like pretending you're one of the kids that's in the thing and you're trying to escape. You're like, what would you be doing? And, you know, you put yourself in the character's shoes,
Yes.
as you did with the original film. So like, I'm thinking about Lex and Tim from the original film. Like, that's who I would. So you're thinking, like, if I was a teenager in this environment, like, what would I be doing? And that has replayed quite a lot in my brain. So I still don't feel that it holds a candle to the original 3. I still love 1, 2, and 3. But you've just folded your arms.
Yeah.
Why are you folding your arms?
I think it's better than 2 and 3.
Okay.
And definitely 2 and 3 of the second trilogy.
Oh, I agree with that. I think definitely those.
I think I'd probably put it higher than Jurassic World.
Okay, a lot of people say Jurassic Park, then Jurassic World, and then some of the other films. I don't know, but you would put Jurassic World Rebirth above Jurassic
Yes, I think
World.
so, yeah.
Okay, interesting. So yeah, it made it onto my list. I didn't think it would when I saw it. I'm surprised it's there at number 8.
I think
I
I'm stronger on it than you was.
Yeah, you were.
Yeah.
But it sat with me a bit longer. Your number 8.
My number 8 is Warfare. Alex Garland and featuring Ray Mendoza, who's also directing, an almost real-time depiction of a siege taking place in Iraq in the Second Gulf War. This is a stressful one, and I heard a lot of people criticise it, almost like they did Civil War, which I really enjoyed.
And enjoyed in inverted commas. That sat with me.
For me, I think this is completely anti-military. I think people had real problems with that. I didn't feel there was any ambiguity whose side they were on in this, and what they were showing. Some of the actions of the soldiers was more than problematic, but certainly to be criticised. Amazing cast. I think probably the lead is an ensemble cast, but someone who I've not heard of, who's called Defero Wunatai, who is First Nation heritage from Canada. I think he was in Reservation Dogs. But you know, Will Poulter, Cosmo Jarvis, Kit Connor, Michael Gandolfini, Joseph Quinn, making a second appearance on the. It is tense all the way through, and I absolutely in no rush to go back and watch it, but it was a 5-star film when I saw it, and it still stuck with me. So,
it's one of the reviews from the podcast that we've done this year that really sticks with me was your review of this film. When I think of what we've covered during the year, your review of it has stayed with me. So yeah.
What's your number? Are we on 7?
We're on 7.
Yeah.
It's Thunderbolts.
Okay, right.
I watched it the other day. I watched it whilst dealing with other things.
Could you please hit the asterisk at the end of it? It's Thunderbolts asterisk. Yeah. Very, very close to my... Until I saw that Black Bag knocked Thunderbolts off the number 10 spot. So
and you really encouraged me, not recently, but through your review of Thunderbolts, you really encouraged me when I was thinking, what can I find for my top 10? What can I watch? What's available? You encouraged me to give Thunderbolts a go. I had tried to give it a go a bit earlier, and I'd started it and I just couldn't get into it. So this time I thought, well, I'll put it on in the background while I'm like doing things around the house. And I ended up not doing the things or stopping and pausing. And you probably don't know this because you don't do this like I do because you're not silly like me. But I will like put my tablet on top of, I don't know, the printer and then do something in the room. Then I'll put it on top of a cupboard while I'm putting the washer. I'll trail it around the house with me. But I was stopping a lot and just looking at it. And I might as well have just been sat down at the sofa watching it. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was a rip-along ride. It was the characters were good. Florence Pugh is just amazing in everything she does. I'm yet to see a bad Florence Pugh performance, and she's really carrying it. But I also really loved Bill, what's his face's son. Help me out here, hon. He's the president of the United States.
Pullman.
That's it. and it's his son. What's his son called? Mr. Pullman Jr.
Bob.
That's it. He plays Bob, which he plays in Top Gun.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the same role.
It's not the same role. What's his name? So-and-so Pullman.
Lewis Pullman.
Lewis Pullman, thank you. I thought he was a really interesting addition to the cast. A lot of ambiguity as to what was going on there.
Yeah.
In terms of, in inverted commas, the baddie, different baddie from that we are used to, a different third act from that we are used to.
Yeah.
It felt like people had actually paid attention to what the criticisms of the other films and hadn't moved away from making a big blockbuster, but had also thought about the storyline.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
I was pretty certain this was going to be sort of MCU slop, which is what we've had for the past few years, but has a heart, it wants to say things, I think, about trauma and grief and how that affects us. So, yeah, no, like I say, it was very, very close to being in my top 10, and I am so glad it's on yours, having not known you've seen it, because, like I say, it was just pushed off mine, and I thought it was quite a shame. My number 7. This is a ludicrous film to put on my list, and my last film was a 5-star film in my mind, and above it in my list is Final Destination's Bloodline.
Okay. Horror. Woo.
I don't care about any of the Final Destination films.
Not even the one where the truck's in front of your car and you're panicking.
I'm not even sure I've seen that film. Okay. I've seen the first one. I don't think I've seen 2 or 3. Although I've seen the clips of the logs on a truck and things like that,
and being in the shower and being in the tanning booth.
I mean, I
could list them.
I don't know these ones, so yeah. But I think I'd have free couple of hours. Probably you'd been out the night before or something like that.
Possibly.
And,
it was time to swap over childcare. Yes.
So I went just not knowing anything about it and not having read any reviews. And this is the funnest film I've seen all year. I was crying laughing. And the more that I was crying laughing, the funnier it got, because it was an empty screening. So there wasn't like people were bouncing off each other. There was like a few people who were quite put off by the fact that I was laughing so much at this film. And yeah, this is just so much fun. It's a cast that I'd not seen anything by. They absolutely smashed it. The directors, Zach Lipovsky and Adam Steen, it's a major breakthrough for them. I've not seen anything about it. It's really clever, this film. Like, it doesn't go the exact way that you think it's going to go. It sets out its rules, but in every single way, it is absolutely ludicrous in the way it does it, and it knows exactly what it is. Like, this isn't one of the 2 films that I think you should really go out your way to check out, but go out your way to check it out, because I think this is so much fun. And it's not scary or anything like that. It's just fun and has fun with the concept.
I would love to see this. I want to see it at home so I can hide behind a pillow, because that idea of something happening, it's like the fact that I'm really, really hate electric shocks, because it's the premise of it's the shock itself doesn't bother me, but it's the build up to the shock. And it's the same thing with people jumping out of outdoors and that sort of thing, and jump scares is what I'm trying to say. I can't cope with those, and these films are just we all know where it's going and we're waiting for it to happen, and that sense of waiting is horrific to me. So I need to be at home behind a pillow or able to fast forward it to the bit where everyone dies.
Well, isn't that
great?
Yeah.
I've got another horror for you.
Oh.
Coming in at my number 6 is Nosferatu.
Okay. No, it's not on my list, but yeah.
I think it might be slightly controversial, because some people, I think Americans might have seen it in 2024, but I count it as
this country as
2025.
Yeah.
Part of the reason that I really like this film is actually to do with the experience I had watching it, in that I was in London. I was about to go and see the Empire podcast live, and I had a free afternoon, and I can't remember which one it was, because there was one of the times where a load of racists walked past with banners past my hotel, and I decided that I would stay away from the racists. Or it was raining, so it was one of those days. And
was it rain?
Was it rain? Was it fascist? But it was one of those days where I just thought, I'll spend a couple of hours in my hotel. And the best thing about, like, especially in our situation where our child's disabled, we do 24/7 care. It's just us, and we don't get a lot of time to ourselves. And we certainly don't get a lot of time to like just take ourselves off to bed in our pajamas after having about 10 showers. And that's what I did. I was like, I'll have another shower. I'll put my pajamas on. I'll get into these beautiful sheets that someone else has changed. And I'll sit and watch Nosferatu. But I really love the Dracula story. I've always been really drawn to it. I really like the connection to Whitby in North Yorkshire. We are Yorkshire people, so I like all those connections. Why are you going like that when I say we are Yorkshire people?
You're sort of, yeah.
I was born in Borough. It's Yorkshire. I'm sure it used to be like part of Yorkshire.
Yorkshire have played there in our lifetime, therefore, like as a home ground. So I will accept you.
Anyway, from the north.
Yes,
we're from the north. So it was just like the perfect storm, and I knew that I was going to be going to see the Empire team that night as well. And I loved the story, and I really liked this representation of the story. It's Robert Eggers, who's a brilliant horror director. Yes, I knew what was going to happen because I know this story, but I really liked the new representation of the Nosferatu character, the Count Dracula. I still call it that. But the best thing for me was Lily Rose Depp as the lead role, portraying what I think is at the heart of this story, which is female sexuality. And it's always been a sexy story, but it's always been portrayed in a sort of like a bosom, bodice ripping, women sort of fainting, and then someone coming along and sucking them on the neck, right? It's always been like male power over women.
Where you were going with that?
Sorry. Yeah, I just saw your eyes and I'm like, what have I said wrong? What have I said wrong? But in this one, she takes the part, and you can see it's almost like orgasmic. What she's making these noises, she's making these, and there's so much about female sexuality, but not from a power taken away from the woman. And it was very, very sexy, and I really appreciated that being the direction that the film took, rather than damsel in distress, which you often get.
Brilliant. I really enjoyed it. So yeah, it was just. I think I'd seen Dracula like a couple of months before, so it was a little bit on the for the podcast.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was a little bit much for me. My number 6 and my number 2 to number 6 have swapped places with each other. I think I've done every single combination. So these are so close.
Okay.
This is quite low for the film that it is, but my number 6 is One Battle After Another.
The film that everyone's putting at their number 1 then.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, right. So it could come anywhere in the list.
It could be number 2. It probably has been over the last couple of days. I've been shuffling it around. It's number 6 today. It will probably be higher by the end of this, but yeah.
It is one that I now feel much more inclined to go and see because people have been speaking so highly about it.
So when I came back and said that's a really good film, that didn't entice you.
It might have done.
I know people you actually respect have said it. Then
Go on, tell me about it.
So I mean, this is just it's a story set in 2 time periods. It's left-wing freedom fighters. We meet Leonardo DiCaprio and Tiana Taylor, who's an actress that I'd not seen anything before. They're leading a raid on a compound that's led by Sean Penn, who plays a military man. They clash, and this stays with them through the years. We have at one point, about after the first act, we have a jump of 16 years, and then we see that this relationship between the characters and a child played by Chase Infinity.
Chase Infinity,
which is an amazing,
the best name,
carries on through. It is fantastic. It is as good as people have said it is. Although not
and it
quite.
Is actually, when you think about titular, like it is one battle after another between these two parties.
Yeah,
and that's what's driving it forward across the years.
It's acted. It's really funny at points. There's a wrestling reference at one point, which is really subtle, but always adds an
gone
extra
up in
star.
your list.
Yeah. This is. I mean, I went in knowing very little of the title, and it took me a long time to get the title right because it's just words after another thing. But yeah, I'd recommend you see this when it comes on streaming because it really is as good as people say it is.
My number 5, which is very unexpected, is Bridget Jones' Mad About the Boy.
I am so glad you said that. It's not on my list, but I really, really enjoyed that.
Yeah. we are, I think, destined to enjoy this film because we are people of a certain age who have experienced a big grief in our lives. And that is what this film, the thread of this film is. You are a person of a certain age. In this instance, Bridget has children as well. And someone big in their lives has died.
Yes.
And it's the, what do you do? And we've actually been talking about this today as like a theme. What do you do when someone's died? What do you do when your person is no longer there? How do you keep going in life? And what do you do with your life now? And I think particularly for women of a certain age, midlife women who might have caring responsibilities, whatever those caring responsibilities for me, some people are child-free by choice, some child-free not by choice. We have lots of different caring responsibilities of elderly parents and, relatives that we're looking after. There's all sorts of things that we're doing in terms of caring. And I think it really speaks to women of that era who are trying to find what they're going to do now. And a lot of the people that in my age bracket now are talking about perimenopause and menopause and what does that mean for us going forward? Whereas, back in the day, it used to mean you got your purple rinse and your hair was put in curlers and you put on, as, my grandma and great grandma did, like a pinny, like an overall essentially, and you lived in your house, and that was kind of it.
Subscribe to Woman's Own.
What do you do now with your life, and how do you move forwards being someone who still is full of life? And I found it very moving. I thought it went to places that I didn't. I thought I knew where it was going, and it didn't go to those places, which I enjoyed.
I mean, it's a film of two halves. Like what is advertised on the poster is the love triangle of Leah Woodall coming into her life, and then Chiwetel Ejiofor on the outside as Mr. Sensible, and then there's a bit, Leah Woodall's, is it Rockstar?
Rockstar
is like this young, charismatic guy.
He's on the apps.
Yeah, he's on the. Oh yeah. And then that's kind of resolves itself halfway through. And then we go into this film about grief and how it affects families and how loss affects families and it really, really touched me. I was crying my ass off in our front room on a lunchtime from work when I finished it off. And it's such a beautiful story.
It deserves much more.
Yes.
Accolades is the right, but more recommendations, more people really shouting about it. So I'm really pleased that it's number 5 on my list.
And it made so much money in the UK box office and was released streaming elsewhere. So the whoever, I don't know which company it is, but definitely left money on the table.
Yep.
So, yeah. My number 5. I think we might have our first crossover. So is this something that would be fair on you? My number 5 is Sinners.
Yes, I've got Sinners coming.
Okay. Do your number 4.
Oh, I'm so excited. This will not be on your list. Are you ready to talk about Avatar: Fire and Ash? We're not going to do a long one on this.
Yes, see recent podcast
where we talked about this at length, and we did I loved it. Mark didn't love it quite so much. So I thought it was a really good podcast actually, and that we came at it. Can I recommend my own podcast? Yes, Cal. That we came at it in very different ways. I find it a sensory, magical, like it's the greatest thing ever to happen to me when I walk into that cinema. I take a deep breath and I'm in Pandora and I'm, flying around with Jake Sully and all of that. Like, it's just, I swear it's something to do with neurodiversity. And I really wish I could write. So I've got this thing in my head of like writing. Does Avatar do it for me because of neurodiversity? And I want to know. It's kind of, my neurodiversity makes me want to know if other neurodiverse people find this sensory immersiveness of Avatar to be as powerful as I do. Sadly, you do not feel the same way about Avatar.
And look, I've heard reviews from people I really respect who say, look, this isn't much narratively, but I enjoy being in Pandora. Whereas for me, I just don't feel that. And for whatever reason, it feels like a cut together selection of video game cutscenes to me. I don't feel immersed in that world. I don't think the backgrounds look as enticing as everyone says they do, and it just doesn't work for me, which is a shame. But yes, don't look sad. Like it doesn't.
Your number 4 then.
I'm not affected by this.
I am. Your number 4.
My number 4 is Begonia.
Oh, right. You're going to have to remind me what Begonia is.
So Yorgos Lanthimos, who previously did The Lobster, Poor Things, Emma Stone, Jesse Plemons, and who are his normal creators, who he's worked with in previously, and Aidan Delbis. This is 2 guys who kidnap the CEO of a major medical company because they are convinced and have read online that she is an alien from another world.
I do know this film, and yet the title just hasn't stuck with me. I wish it had a different title. Why is it called Begonia? Or do I not want to know?
I don't know.
Is it the alien species of which she might be?
Maybe. I
want to watch it just to know why it's called that.
I can't pluck that fact out of my mind.
Yeah.
I sat there absolutely mesmerised by this film. It's largely a 3-hander. Like, there's a couple of the people who appear. There's a police chief. There's a parent of one of the characters. Like I say, you've got Emma Stone and Jesse Plemons, who are doing so much great work at the minute. But Aidan Delbis as Jesse's, I think he plays his cousin or brother, relation. He is a neurodivergent guy, played by Aidan Delbis, who is a neurodivergent actor in his first role, and he absolutely holds his own for it's worth calling out just how good he is in this. I've got issues with the ending of this because at some point it needs to make up its mind on what it's doing, but don't let that put you off. I think I've heard people who were really put off by the ending. I've heard people who love the ending. I liked the swing that it takes, but I don't. For me, the morals behind it, I think, are questionable.
Okay,
but yeah, it's you don't like Yorgos Lanthimos' films, do you?
Oh God, yeah. It hasn't. None of them, apart from the one of the period drama with Olivia Colman. Thank you, The Favourite, which is just up my street because I like people in period costume running around Hampton Court or other stately homes that I have been to in my life.
Yes,
that's very much a piece of me, so I could get away with that. But it's just not for me. It's just a bit too bizarre. It doesn't speak to me, apart from, like I say, kings and queens and courts.
Are we on to number 3?
We are on to number 3, and my number 3 is Sinners.
Oh, wow.
So we can talk about that now. It was, for a long time, my number 1 film of the year.
I remember when we reviewed this, you were annoyed that I gave it 4.5 stars, and you could not believe that it wasn't.
5-star film, yeah.
I mean, no, it's 4.5 stars for me, but yeah. I mean, for me, this is an absolute success story in that the conversation went from, how can they let Ryan Coogler spend so much money on this niche horror movie to, look how much money it's made. It's an original film that's like up with the box office with many other films that were released this year. So, I don't know the exact where it stands in it. It might be 5th or 6th, the highest grossing film in the States. It's made money. It's made money anyway. Yeah. So it just goes to show good original filmmaking still has a place in cinemas.
It's the music, it's the culture, it's the history, it's the violence, the horror, just all of it. It's just it's such a melting pot of a film where you can smell it and you can taste it and you can be back in that world really, really easily. I'm thinking of Haley Steinfeld at a train station and, Michael B. Jordan playing two roles. But I don't remember that he plays 2 roles because those 2 characters, Smoke and Stack, are 2 completely individual people in my mind. I forget. I was trying to think who plays the second brother, and I'm going, it's him. He plays the second brother. I mean, he should get. I mean, is it going to be in the Oscar? It should be. This should be all over the Oscars for acting, for the production. It is a fabulous film.
I mean, it must get production design just because that world is so well done. I would hope that there's some acting credits for Michael B. Jordan. I don't know whether it's the sort of film that will get acting credits.
Which, I mean, shouldn't
I've
it?
gone out my way to mention a couple of actors who I wasn't aware of who are absolutely still in the show. So I'm going to carry on and say Miles Caton, who in his first ever acting role, as I understand it, like just... what a voice. And like that where he starts singing and Michael B. Jordan just next to him just lets out this wow. And it's
and he carries us through the film as well. He's us through the film. So that's a lot to do when you're next to big actors like Michael B. Jordan and others.
If anyone's not seen Sinners, I would recommend seeing as little as possible.
Oh, no, as little as possible.
Possible.
Turn all the lights off and just sit and just take it all in.
I still remember probably my scene of the year is that scene where they're playing the music and it goes through the history of black music visually on screen, and I remember sitting in the cinema and thinking, this is absolutely game-changing cinema.
Yeah, I absolutely had the same thought. I was sat there and I thought, this is something that people will talk about for a very long time.
My number 3, I suspect I'm going to be ushered on to your number 2. My number 3 is The Ballad of Wallace Island.
Yes, you should be ushered on.
Yes.
So my number 2 is 28 Years Later.
Oh, I mean, it's not on my list.
Yeah. Like I say, Sinners was number 1 for a long time. I am bringing emotion into this in that 28 Years Later is a film that was filmed in our neck of the woods. So we have been to the place and been near and seen the places where this was filmed. We went on holiday where we were very, very near the woods where a lot of the scenes were based, and I spent so much time like looking out into the thing going, that's where the the infected, that's where the infected are going to come from, and just loving it and enjoying it and thinking, isn't it brilliant that they were having like premieres in our local independent cinema? Isn't it brilliant that you've got a filmmaker like Danny Boyle coming and using, old pit villages, islands that a lot of people don't know exist, but we're just standing on the beach looking at the island, and I've gone all Geordie now because and using local people, the people on the screen using the accent that I have grown up with, and also just a terrifying film, of the infected, moving it forward in some comedy as well, a bit funny at times. I loved it. I think it's so imaginative. You've got so many different component parts. It's not just one thing. You've got islands and you've got your own culture as well, and going back to like that patriotic British, what would happen if you're stuck on an island and you're stuck in, the 1990s, and how would you rebuild community, and what would community look like? And then you've got Ralph Fiennes off with his, I'll not swear, but he's off doing things, and it's like, well, is this another film? But no, it isn't. It all comes together. The ending, of course, as you said with Begonia, was controversial. Everyone must now know about the ending because they just went on and on and on about the ending, and I think that kind of done it. Well, I think it doesn't even kind of. It does it an injustice because it all becomes about the ending. They were clearly setting up for the second film, which is about to come out in the next few days. 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Again, a story about, and going back to 28 Years Later, a story about grief, a story about family, lots of big ticks for me, but I know that I've put it as high as I have within my list because of that connection to the Northeast, and I'm happy to say it. I think it's a brilliant film, but I know it's that heart, seeing my world on screen is so important.
It would have been my top 15. It was very, very close. So I'm really glad it's made it to you. My number 2 is a film I don't think you've seen. It's Weapons.
I haven't seen it. The trailer scared me so much. I thought, because I think I did have the opportunity to go and see it at the cinema, and I was too scared because it just looked too scary to me.
Yeah. So if people aren't aware of this film, the story is at 2:17 a.m. an entire school class simultaneously gets up out of bed walks out the door and disappears.
And that also was a thing that I was like, it's two kids going missing. It's just like, oh, I can't cope with it.
And it's told in modern times. The reason we know and can tell that it's exactly that time is because everyone's got Ring doorbells now. So we can see exact time kids walk out the door and go through. It's made by Zach Cregger, who is the guy who did Barbarian, which I think he did see.
Yes, I did see, yeah.
Petrified You?
Oh, yeah, totally.
Yeah. And it's told from multiple viewpoints. So I love this as a as a storytelling concept, where you see something happening and then you see it again from someone else's viewpoint, and it makes a bit more sense and adds context to it. I think it goes like that. I've never seen Go, but I remember first seeing this in a Simpsons episode called Trilogy of Error. But yeah,
okay,
and I've loved it ever since. Like, I think Run Lola Run is also.
Oh yeah.
This absolutely goes places. There is absolute jump scares that made me scream out in the cinema.
Oh no!
So yeah,
if you're doing that, what am I going to do?
This is one to watch behind a pillar. But this is absolutely world-class cinema making from Zach Cregger. I can't recommend it enough. Just brilliant filmmaking, and it hits the landing, and that's all I can say.
Okay.
So,
drum roll.
Deduction tells me that there's one film that I haven't on my list that I haven't talked about, so it must be on number one. And I kind of knew this was going to be the case.
Yeah. What a beautiful film. It's The Ballad of Wallace Island. And if you want to hear more about this film and sort of the background to it and why I'm so emotionally tied to it as well, go and listen to our date night episode, which is only a few episodes ago, because this was a DVD that your mum and dad bought me for my birthday back in November.
Yes.
And then I said to you, we have to watch this film. Empire Podcast Live, again, another shout out to the Empire team. I went to see Empire Podcast Live and they had the Ballad of Wallace Island team there.
Was it Tim Key and Tom Basden?
It was, both of them were there together. And I just, listening to them talk about the film, having seen the film, having loved the film. It's such a simple premise as well. It's two musicians who were mildly famous in the noughties, in a folky country, well, not even folky country, it is sort of like that sort of enemy darlings sort of way.
Yes.
Haven't seen each other for a while. They were a couple. They're invited to an island, Wallace Island, funnily enough. They're invited to an island by an eccentric millionaire who would like them to put on a concert, and that is it. That is the point of the story. It's so gentle and so emotional and funny, and sometimes you think it's going to go a bit straight, and it's just a little bit off key, and you're not quite sure, and I just absolutely adore it, and I listen to the soundtrack non-stop.
So, like, I'm smiling at it now, just thinking about like scenes where a camera pans and it hits on a picture on a wall, and I am laughing at that inside now. Yeah, it's such a brilliant film. I'm really glad that you introduced me to this. It's a film that I've been really wanting to see, and I just hadn't had a chance. And you rented it in preparation for going down to Empire and said, "Oh, we've got 7 days to watch it." And then I went to watch it while you were in London and found out it expired after 48 hours.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful, emotive, heartfelt film, and funny,
and a brilliant soundtrack. My number one, which I think you know what this is.
Do I know what this is? What's your Well, you've been to see a few films recently, so I'm wondering if it's one of the more recent.
No, this is a musical biopic of the band All for One, and it is I Swear. It's not a musical biopic of the band All for One. Is that actually what they're called?
I don't know.
I Swear.
Oh yeah, by the moon. But that's not what they. Oh no, but they're called All for One, possibly.
That joke might have worked or might not. Edit out as needed, Hannah. Edit out as needed. Yeah, this is the life story of John Davidson, who is someone who has Tourette's syndrome and was subject to a documentary in the late 80s called John's Not Mad.
Which I remember very, very strongly.
I've never seen it. I remember it being on telly and being 8 years old, or 9 years old, one of the two, and it being the talk of the playground afterwards and not having the emotional maturity to understand what it was. It was just a guy who was swearing, and that's all that everyone said. This is a film about the heart of it, about disability acceptance, and that is always going to strike a chord with us, given our situation. It's about investing time and care into people with complex needs. It is beautifully told. I cried tears of sadness through this, but I also cried tears of laughter, because this is a film that is happy for you to laugh along with it. Never laughing at the characters, but you are 100% laughing along with them, and that is the beauty of this film. John Davidson is played by Robert Aramayo, who is, I think he's in Game of Thrones and Rings of Power.
Yes.
And he's from Hull, which is another reason. For the final time tonight, I'm also going to shout out Scott Ellis-Watson, who plays the young John Davidson. Everyone's talking about Robert Aramayo, but Scott Ellis-Watson, in his first ever role, as I understand it, gives an equally... Oh, actually, I'd argue a better performance, because this is someone who... Robert Aramayo is able to play someone who understands his condition and is frustrated by it.
It's older.
Scott Ellis-Watson has to play someone who doesn't understand what's happening to him, because no one knew what Tourette's was at the time.
Yeah.
This is an absolutely phenomenal piece of filmmaking, and I will say what Mark Kermode said when he saw it, or I think he was paraphrasing another critic that he saw outside, which is, this is a film that could change someone's life. And it is an absolutely beautiful film. I walked out of it and I thought, that is my film of the year, and it has stuck with me.
Fabulous.
You will. This is the other film that I think you need to see, and you will understand why.
Very close to the bone for me as well, with that theme of disability and accessibility and inclusion.
I'm welling up just thinking about it now.
It would be hard for us.
It is hard, but it's never shown. It's not shown in that way. Like, it is shown as when you give people who have complex needs the support and time they need and how they can thrive. And there's horrible things happen at the same time.
Yeah.
Because, but equally, and, in the opening scene, we have a flash forward to when John is getting his OB from the Queen for services to disability. And as he's nervous to go into the room because he doesn't know what he's going to do. And as he walks in, he shouts, "Fuck the Queen!" Yeah. And it's funny, and it's a perfect introduction to this character, because he's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah," and everyone understands and everyone knows, and this is art. I want to watch it again now, but it is such a good film, and it hit home on every level with me.
That was a really good top 10 films of the year. And I say that because I thought it might be a bit messy, given that I haven't watched that many films. That's probably been our best structural top 10 that we've ever done, which I'm really proud of us after 6 years.
It's good that you now know the format and now you go through it.
It just felt like it flowed in a way that wasn't me going, "What are we doing next? What are we doing next?" It had a good flow. So I really enjoyed that. Thanks, son. And what great films and what great film recommendations. And actually this year as well, not having quite so much crossover means that there's lots of different films to talk about, which
that's
I really
not an
enjoyed.
excuse to not go see more films next year.
I will try.
I'm glad that a lot of the films that were very, very 20 and above in mind were on yours, because it's given me a chance to talk about them. So
Right, we will be back with our top 10 TV shows of the year. Equally eclectic list.
Role reversed.
And role reversed, because I'm the TV person, Mark less of the TV person. So, but we should say, if it works like this today, we should have a lovely list.
Yes. We'll see you next time.
See you next time.